Imagine holding a smartphone in your hand and feeling something very different from the usual cold piece of glass and metal. Imagine switching it on and instantly feeling like you've stepped into another universe. Not just any universe, but one that has lived in people's hearts for decades. Lightsabers, starships, epic battles between good and evil, and that familiar music that gives you goosebumps every single time. That's exactly the feeling people describe when they talk about the limited edition Star Wars smartphone. It's not just a phone. It's a story. It's nostalgia. It's fandom turned into something you can touch, use, and carry in your pocket every day. For many people, Star Wars isn't just a movie series. It's a memory of childhood. It's sitting in front of the TV with family, or going to the cinema for the first time and seeing something that felt bigger than life. It's pretending to be a Jedi with friends, arguing about who is stronger, Luke or Vader, and dreaming of flying through space. So when a smartphone brand decides to create a limited edition Star Wars phone, they're not just adding a logo or changing a wallpaper. They're tapping into emotions that have been building for generations. What makes this idea so fascinating is how unexpected it feels at first. We're used to phones being practical tools. They help us call, message, scroll, work, and sometimes escape boredom. But this phone tries to do something more. It tries to make you feel something every time you unlock it. From the moment you see the box, you know this isn't an ordinary product. The packaging alone feels like it belongs in a collector's display. Dark colors, iconic symbols, and that sense that you're about to open something special, something rare. And rarity is a big part of the magic here. The words, limited edition, change everything. Suddenly, the phone isn't just a device you'll replace in a couple of years. It becomes something people want to keep, protect, and even show off. Knowing that only a small number of these phones exist in the world creates excitement and urgency. Fans feel like if they don't get it now, they might never get another chance. That feeling alone can turn a simple purchase into an unforgettable moment. Once you actually turn the phone on, the experience continues in subtle but powerful ways. The interface is customized with Star Wars themes that feel carefully designed, not cheap or forced. The icons, the wallpapers, the animations, even the sounds, all remind you of the universe you love. Notifications might come with a familiar tone. Lock screens might feature legendary characters. It feels like the phone understands who it's made for. But what really makes people talk about this phone isn't just how it looks. It's how it feels to use something that reflects your identity. For Star Wars fans, this phone becomes a quiet statement. You're not shouting it out loud, but anyone who notices knows exactly where your heart is. It's like wearing a subtle badge that says, "This story matters to me." There's also an interesting balance here between technology and storytelling. Modern smartphones are incredibly powerful. They're fast, smart, and packed with features. The challenge with themed phone is make sure it doesn't sacrifice performance for style. That's where the best limited edition phones really shine. They offer solid hardware, good cameras, smooth performance, and reliable battery life, while still delivering that emotional connection. You're not choosing between being a fan and having a good phone. You're getting both. People who buy this phone often describe a strange sense of joy in everyday moments. Checking the time feels different. Opening apps feels more fun. Even placing the phone on a table feels satisfying because it looks unique. These small moments add up. Over time, the phone becomes part of your daily routine, but it never feels boring. It keeps reminding you of why you love Star Wars in the first place. There's also the collector's mindset that comes into play. Some people buy this phone not just to use it, but to keep it safe, almost like a piece of history. They know that years from now, this phone might be hard to find. It might remind them of a specific era in technology and pop culture. Limited edition products often gain emotional value over time, and sometimes even financial value. But even for those who don't care about resale, there's pride in owning something rare. What's interesting is how this phone brings different generations together. Older fans who grew up with the original trilogy feel the nostalgia. Younger fans who discovered Star Wars through newer films or series feel the excitement of being part of something bigger. A single device becomes a bridge between ages, tastes, and experiences. It sparks conversations. Someone notices the phone, asks about it, and suddenly you're talking about favorite characters, scenes, and memories. The design details matter a lot here. Small touches like engraved logos, special color finishes, or unique textures make the phone feel premium. It's not just painted differently. It's crafted with intention. You can tell when something is made by people who understand the fandom. That respect shows in the final product, and fans can feel it instantly. Another powerful aspect is how this phone turns something digital into something personal. Star Wars is a massive franchise, but this phone makes it feel intimate. It's yours. It's in your hand. It's part of your daily life. That's a very different experience from watching a movie or buying a poster. It's a constant companion that quietly celebrates something you love. There's also a deeper idea here about why we connect so strongly with themed technology. In a world where so many products look the same, people crave individuality. They want items that reflect who they are. A limited edition Star Wars smartphone does exactly that. It stands out in a sea of identical devices. It tells a story without saying a word. Of course, not everyone will understand the appeal. Some people see a phone as just a phone, and that's fine. But for fans, this is about emotion, memory, and identity. It's about waking up in the morning, unlocking your phone, and smiling because it reminds you of something that once inspired you to dream of galaxies far away. There's also something comforting about it. Star Wars has always been about hope, struggle, and believing in something bigger than yourself. Carrying a piece of that with you every day can feel strangely reassuring. In stressful moments, even a small visual reminder can bring a sense of calm or motivation. It's amazing how powerful stories can be, even when they're wrapped inside technology. As time passes, this phone becomes more than a novelty. It becomes part of your personal timeline. You remember where you were when you bought it, what was happening in your life, and how it made you feel. Years later, even if you're no longer using it as your main device, it still holds meaning. It becomes a memory frozen in time. This is why limited edition products, when done right, leave such a strong impact. They're not meant for everyone. They're meant for the people who truly care. And when those people get their hands on something special, the connection is instant. In the end, the limited edition Star Wars smartphone represents more than a collaboration between a tech brand and a movie franchise. It represents the idea that technology doesn't have to be cold or boring. It can be emotional. It can be nostalgic. It can tell a story. It can remind us of who we were, who we are, and what still inspires us. So when you think about the limited edition Star Wars smartphone, don't think of it as just another gadget. Think of it as a small piece of a galaxy that has shaped millions of lives. A reminder that even in a world full of fast upgrades and constant change, some stories are timeless, and sometimes all it takes is one special device to bring that magic back into your everyday life.